San Francisco in the 1800s exploded almost overnight. Ships abandoned in the harbor, streets clogged with miners chasing gold, and a city on fire with ambition, danger, and opportunity. Step inside a world that would become legendary, and I see it as no one ever could. San Francisco in the 1800s was a city on the edge of transformation. From a quiet settlement called Yerba Buena, it exploded almost overnight into a chaotic hub of opportunity, danger, and ambition. By 1850, just 2 years after gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill in 1848, the population had surged from around 1,000 to over 25,000 people. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings, engravings, and prints to life, allowing us to shift perspective, change camera angles, and move through the same scenes in ways their original artists never could. First, I want to talk about the waterfront, where the city's transformation was most visible. This view shows the San Francisco waterfront in 1849. In the foreground, dozens of ships sit idly in the harbor. Many were abandoned by sailors who rushed inland to stake their claims in the goldfields. Wooden piers jut out into the foggy bay, creaking under the weight of crates filled with tools, food, and supplies for the incoming fortune seekers. The skyline in the background is minimal, mostly low wooden buildings and the occasional small hilltop structure. On the docks, merchants shout their wares, dogs scurry along planks, and the salty air mingles with smoke from cooking fires. Tension ripples through the crowds as competition for berths and resources grows. The waterfront fueled the city's economy and became the first stop for almost everyone who arrived in search of gold. Remarkably, today, this same area forms part of the modern Embarcadero, still busy with ships and ferries. This view shows Montgomery Street in 1850. By the 1850s, Montgomery Street had become a central artery of the growing town. Wooden sidewalks line narrow, muddy streets where horse-drawn wagons bump against pedestrians. Shop signs swing overhead, announcing everything from grocers to tailors. Laborers unload barrels from wagons, children dart between the crowds, and the smell of wood smoke mixes with the scent of spilled grain and leather. Fires were a constant danger here. Crowded wooden structures made the street a tinderbox. The thoroughfare was vital to trade, connecting the waterfront to inland markets. Within a decade, many of these early wooden buildings were replaced by sturdier brick structures, laying the foundation for the financial district that exists today. This view shows Portsmouth Square in 1849. Portsmouth Square was the heart of early San Francisco. By the late 1840s, the plaza was crowded with tents, makeshift homes, and vendors selling food and supplies. People gathered here to exchange news, hire guides, and join wagon parties heading to the goldfields. Musicians and street preachers added sound to the bustling square, while the risk of theft and brawls loomed large. This space was a center for civic life and public announcements. Today, Portsmouth Square still exists as a small urban park in Chinatown, offering a glimpse into the city's earliest public spaces. This view shows the Barbary Coast in the early 1850s. By the early 1850s, the Barbary Coast had earned a reputation for lawlessness. Narrow alleys and uneven streets were lined with saloons, gambling dens, and brothels. The air is thick with smoke from countless fires and the smell of spilled alcohol. Crowds jostle for space on the wooden sidewalks while sailors, miners, and adventurers navigate the chaos. Fires and violent confrontations were common, making it one of the most dangerous parts of the city. Despite this, the area drew wealth and power to those who could survive the chaos. Over time, police reform and rebuilding efforts reduced its notoriety, but the colorful history of the Barbary Coast remains part of San Francisco's cultural memory. This view shows a gold miner's boarding house on Washington Street, 1850. This simple wooden building houses dozens of men hoping to make their fortune. Inside, the air is heavy with smoke, sweat, and the scent of cooking. Miners sleep in hammocks or on straw-filled mattresses. Arguments over room space and unpaid rent create constant tension. Boarding houses were essential to shelter the influx of fortune seekers and provided both community and friction. By the Mid-1850s, many were replaced by brick tenements as the city sought to accommodate its growing population. Some of these streets remain residential today, reflecting the city's evolution from chaos to order. This view shows Clay Street and the steep hills, 1850s. The steep hills of San Francisco create dramatic perspectives. Horses and wagons struggle to climb the muddy streets while pedestrians slip and slide on slick planks. The fog from the bay rolls through, dampening wood and carrying the smell of sea and soil. Landslides and erosion were real hazards, particularly after heavy rain. These hills shaped the city's layout and influenced where people built homes and businesses. Today, the famous cable cars trace these same routes, climbing the hills that once made daily life treacherous. This view shows the first Chinatown in the 1850s. By 1850, a growing Chinese community settled near Portsmouth Square. Wooden shops with signs in Chinese characters line the narrow alleys. Laundry hangs across streets, and the aroma of exotic spices mingles with smoke from cooking fires. Tension exists between different ethnic groups as prejudice and competition for work were common. Chinatown became a hub of trade, culture, and resilience. Today, it is a vibrant historic neighborhood, preserving much of its original layout and character. This view shows the city's first churches and mission buildings. By the 1840s and 50s, San Francisco retained traces of its Spanish and Mexican past. Adobe mission buildings and small churches sit amidst the wooden chaos. Bells toll to gather the faithful, and priests walk the streets offering guidance. Religious life structured social norms and provided some order in the otherwise lawless city. Many of these original buildings were replaced or renovated, but sites like Mission San Francisco de Asís still stand, connecting the present to the early past. This view shows Market Street, the city's main thoroughfare. 1850, the street stretches. In the foreground, crowded with wagons, pedestrians, and livestock. Shops and temporary structures line both sides, selling tools, clothing, and provisions. The smell of food and smoke fills the air. Crowds jostle for space. Accidents, arguments, and occasional fires remind visitors of the city's volatility. Market Street became the economic lifeline, connecting the waterfront to inland areas. Today, the modern thoroughfare still serves as one of San Francisco's busiest commercial streets, echoing its historic importance. This view shows the harbor at sunset, 1850s. Ships bob gently in the golden light, some empty, some unloading goods. Dockworkers move crates, while seagulls circle overhead. The harbor represents the lifeblood of the city, sustaining trade, transport, and migration. Fires, storms, and overcrowding were ever-present dangers, but the wealth flowing through these docks fueled San Francisco's rapid growth. Today, the waterfront remains an iconic part of the city, a place where past and present coexist along the bay. Reflective ending. Walking through these reconstructed streets, it's remarkable how alive the past feels. The chaos, ambition, and human drama of San Francisco during the gold rush leap from the engravings and paintings into our imagination. If there's another city, era, or scene you'd like to see brought to life through AI reconstruction, let me know in the comments. Again, thank you so much.